Congratulations, your skater has now selected their model, their size, and their width. You're now ready to move on to the full heat mold process. The full heat mold process has multiple steps. Each are important to ensure not only a good initial fitting, but to lessen the adjustments after the initial fitting. The first step in our heat mold process is engaging the collar system. It's important to note that within the skate, there's an independent collar system that is glued internally to the skate. Sometimes during the heat mold process, the skate can become more malleable quicker than the glue will release. So it's important that we get some movement out of the collar initially before we heat up the skate for a full 7 minutes. To engage the collar system, you just put the sole of the skate against your chest, put your hand on the top, and just make sure you're seeing movement. You might hear a slight crack in the skate, and that's okay. That's just the glue releasing from the collar. The second part of our process for the heat molding is mounting the blade. It is extremely important that the blade is mounted when we do a full heat mold. This makes sure the structural integrity of the skate remains consistent throughout the heat mold process. Now, our skates are designed to marry with a John Wilson MK blade. So each blade and the stanchion on our boots should have a perfect marriage. If you're using a different brand of blade, there might be some small gappage. We have designed the sole on our skate at 3 to 4 millimeters depending on the size so that you can sand to accommodate that gap. All of our holes are to be pre-drilled using a 3/32 bit. Although there is no adverse effect of drilling straight through the shell, a 5/8 depth will ensure you don't punch through the skate completely. We recommend full-size skates, so 240, 250, 260, etc., mount right to the front of the rubber sole. This ensures that the designed attack angle is achieved and the skater is positioned correctly over the rocker. For half-size skates, we recommend a 2 millimeter back mount to achieve the same attack angle. The third step in our process is actually heating the skate. We want to heat our skate for 7 minutes in a standard warmed-up 180-degree boot oven. 7 minutes is an important number as it makes the skate malleable enough to work with the idiosyncrasies of your foot, but not so hot that the materials bleed and lose their structural integrity. The fourth step is placing the skate on the foot. The skates will be very pliable when pulled from the oven. It is important that you take care when placing the foot into the skate. Ensure that the tongue, sole, and liner are not bunched or rolled. This is a point where we have a conversation with the skater on what our skates feel like on the foot. The skate should be tight, like a firm handshake, touching and supporting each part of the foot. There is a difference between pain and pressure. The skate will relax and conform to the foot throughout the heat mold and afterwards. Click the heel to ensure proper foot alignment. The fifth step is lacing the eyelets. It is important that the eyelets are delicately pulled to only 50 or 60% pressure. The material is extremely soft and will stretch if this is not followed. Do not over tighten and do not lace the hooks of the skate. The next step is shrink wrap. Shrink wrap is an important tool to give an even amount of pressure throughout the skate. Only use shrink wrap where the skate needs to be brought in. If the skater feels like there is room, do not wrap. If the skater feels like they have enough room or too much room, use shrink wrap to bring the skate in. It is important that you only wrap to the second hook of the skate. This will capture the idiosyncrasies of the ankle without compromising the top line of the boot. The seventh step is skater position. The skater should sit with weight on their feet. This will ensure that the width desired is achieved and that the skate will form correctly to their foot. Their knees should be over their toes, ensuring that their feet are straight and aligned. The skater should not move from this position for at least 15 minutes. No standing, no flexing, and no walking. The next step is removing and tightening. Although the skates will feel cool to the touch after 15 minutes, they will still have some residual heat internally. Carefully cut the shrink wrap off using scissors and carefully remove the skate from the skater's foot. During the heat mold process, the screws at the bottom of the skate and the hook plate will become loose. Tighten all hooks and bolts to a snug state and be sure not to over tighten. Affix more screws if applicable using the same pre-drilling process. Your last step is to have an exit conversation with your skater. It is normal for the skate to feel very tight, and this is new for some skaters. Be sure to tell them that the skate will relax over the next few days. Unless there is pain, we typically don't do many major adjustments on the day of the heat mold. It is always easier to create space afterwards. Although the skate will feel cool to the touch, the inside will still be malleable. This means no tying them up at home and no skating them until the next day.